remove from the meeting. Okay. Okay. So good evening and welcome. My name is Manoj Onkar, and this is an introductory session of the leadership from the emerging future. This is a workshop that we have been conducting for the last 5 years, and we also do a lot of consulting based on that. And we are here to share more about the technology, and our intention is two intentions. One is, of course, we want to inspire you to participate in our workshop, which is starting from next Saturday, Sunday. And secondly, that you are here in today, that itself in these 2 hours, we intend that you have some new opening, some insight, which makes a difference in your own leadership and the contribution that you do on the planet. And for that, we definitely need that you be interactive with us in this conversation and not like listen to a lecture or something. That will make the session interesting for you and for us both. Okay. Otherwise, it can actually even become boring for us if we are just going to say the same thing for the last five years, right? But the moment you interact, then it becomes new, and then conversation is useful for all of us, right?
True.
Rishikesh, welcome back, and okay, Ashok Singh, welcome. Okay, and Vikram, welcome. Put your videos on, please. Girish, keep your videos on. Okay, so let's start with, since it's a small group, why don't you introduce yourself in a short, like, couple of lines, right, so that we know who's here and what's the background. Okay, so who would like to start? You can unmute and speak up.
Yeah, my name is Ajay.
Yeah, Ajay.
I am from Mumbai. I am having own business for advise the SMEs companies.
Okay, welcome, Ajay. Right, somebody else?
Anand Chabra.
Yeah, Anand.
From Born to Win Learning Services, we are into implementation and delivering on pre-identified results.
Okay, and you're based in?
Based out of Noida, sorry.
Noida, no problem. Yeah, great, thank you. Somebody else?
Yeah, I'm Kripa Shankar, based in Bangalore.
Right.
Earlier serving to the corporate sector. Now I'm on my own. I'm consulting for all MSMEs.
Okay,
Yeah.
very good. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you.
Somebody else?
Hi everybody, this is Girish Deshpande. So I'm
Hi,
from
Girish.
Pune, and I work for an IT company as a AVP. Manage the some enterprise application portfolio. And just curious to know, I mean, what this theory can help me out.
Okay, welcome. Welcome, Girish. Somebody else?
Hi everyone, this is
Hi.
Rishikesh Ranjalkar.
Yes.
I'm currently at Mumbai. My company, I'm working at a startup, C6 Energy Private Limited. It's based out of Bangalore. So I'm by profession, I'm a design engineer. So the startup works in making agricultural biostimulants from seaweeds.
Agriculture?
Agricultural biostimulants from seaweed.
Okay. Right, good.
Hi, this is Kamesh from Hyderabad.
Yeah.
I was in sales and marketing for 35 years. I'm a freelance trainer, corporate trainer.
Okay, welcome. And where did you say you're from?
Hyderabad.
Hyderabad. Okay, welcome, welcome. Great. Somebody else? Kunal, Bhavin, Girish, keep your videos on. Yes.
Hi.
Yes, Kunal.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am
Go ahead,
and
Kunal.
I am from Ahmedabad. working in HR department and leading in HR plant and corporate of services.
Okay, very good. Great. Welcome, Kunal.
Thank you, sir.
Great. Somebody else?
I'm Sudhakar. I'm from Hyderabad. Heading IT of a voluntary organization called Tanvantari Foundation, International Foundation in Indonesia.
Okay.
In touch.
You're working with an international foundation, right? Voluntary organization.
Head IT.
Okay, great. Welcome.
Thank you.
Good. Bhavin or somebody else. And Kunal, please put your video on. Okay, it's an interactive session. So unless you have an internet problem or some real issue, it is better to keep the video on, then we can have a conversation. Okay, who else would like to introduce themselves?
Okay, I'm Dr. Kalinti Bhatt, former director of Institute of Hotel Management and Catering Technology, Pune. Presently in the space of leadership development and executive coaching. Thank you so much.
Okay, and you're based in Pune, right? Yeah.
Based in Pune, yes.
Okay, good. Welcome. Okay, Rito, welcome. We're just introducing ourselves. Why don't you unmute and put your video on, introduce yourself. Okay, Rito. Okay, so let's begin. And as people continue to join in, we'll try to include them in the conversation. Now, some of you have been aware about our work, and some of you, this is your first exposure. So if you are meeting us for the first time, can you raise your hand? So that, okay, so you're having a conversation with us for the first time. Okay, great. Thank you. So myself, Manoj, and my partners and associate Vivek Chopra. Vivek, can you raise your hand? Yeah, so Vivek is based in Delhi, and Sai Krishna Rao, SK, we call him SK. He is based in Bangalore, and we also have other partners based in UK and Philippines. Together, we do a lot of organizational development work, and we focus on leadership development, organization culture, strategy implementation, innovation, sales, and related activities. But our prime interest, you can say our flagship program is this leadership from the emerging future, which is based on Theory U by MIT professor Dr. Otto Scharmer. And all of us have spent 25, 30 years or more in individual transformation and organizational transformation space. Right? Those of you who know us from our background, right? So we have been involved with some globally renowned technologies for individual and organizational transformation. And then for the last 5 years, 6 years, we have been involved with Theory U. We find this as a very powerful resource for three things: transformation of business, transformation of society, and transformation of individuals. Normally, if you look at these three things are seen as separate. So there are many organizations which work on transformation of individuals, right? And then there are many consulting organizations and otherwise which work on transformation of businesses. And then you have the United Nations and many others who work on the transformation of the society. Right? But what Otto Scharmer says, and we tend to agree, is you cannot treat them as silos. They're all interconnected. Human beings are not separate or living in a vacuum. Right? They're connected with the society and the businesses. So all of these three, when you try to look at them as silos, and then we further go down and we look at every issue as silo, like mental issue, health issue, or in businesses also, you'll see finance issue separate, management issue separate, marketing issue separate, HR issue separate, when you look at society, we again look at each issue separate, education separate, health is separate, the poverty is separate, and everything we try to keep breaking down into different silos. And the more you do that, the solutions you will create from that silo thinking, they are also going to become part of the problem. Because life doesn't work in silos. Okay, so before I go on, let me just welcome everybody who's joined in. So if you joined in right now, as we began, so welcome. Dheeraj Malhotra, Bharati Joshi, and if you are, there is somebody who has got the, on the screen is written SCT KKD. If you can put your name there, that would be great. And we request everybody to put your videos on. It doesn't work for us to interact on blank screens. Okay, so please put your videos on. And Manish Puranik, welcome. And those of you who joined in late, maybe you can just put it in the chat, one line about yourself and maybe the city that you are in from. That would be great. Dr. Lata Murthy, welcome. So people who didn't get a chance to introduce themselves, welcome. Can you just put in one line about yourself and city in the chat?
Yes, this is Dr. Lata Murthy here. At present, I'm working as the founder director for Y1 Edu Solutions, a software company. And I have been in education last 36 years, heading schools in different positions like director, principal, and trustee as well.
Okay.
So right now I'm in Bangalore. Bangalore is my place where I stay.
Okay, great.
So this is Sudhir Kapoor.
Yes,
I have been the CEO of many large multinationals, Nurgi, Babcock, Ferodo, and have over the last 15 years worked with companies on the business transformation, mainly what we can do in terms of improving top line and bottom line growth. I worked with about a dozen companies, mainly in international companies. The next new thing we are doing is digital transformation of companies.
Okay.
Thank you.
Welcome, Mr. Sudhir. Thank you. Mustafa, welcome. Mustafa, you're based in Singapore. Got you. So your screen says Tokerito. So if you want to change it to Mustafa, you can do that. And Bharti, you're from Calcutta. Welcome. Dheeraj and KK Pandey, you can just mention in chat where are you from, and also put your screens on. Kushal, welcome. Kushal is from Bangalore, right? Okay, so let's continue. And where was I? Somebody, if you can help me. What did I say last before we went to in welcoming the new guest?
You're saying that we don't live in vacuum, we're connected, we're working on silos.
Right. Okay, very good. Okay, so all of us are leaders and all of us are have certain responsibilities as a leader. Many of us also are working with other leaders, entrepreneurs, and change makers. So we have very big opportunity to make a profound difference. One thing about leadership, all of you, I'm sure, would agree, is it's not about the past, right? And it's always about taking the organization, the group that we are coaching, working with. Even if you are a senior manager in a company, it's always about taking the organization or the groups to a new future. So if you are PhDs of the past, you are in trouble, right? All of us know that. And there have been big companies, giant organizations who have got into trouble because they got seduced by their success of the past, right? Your Blackberries are Xerox, and you can find many examples. So what does it take for us to be a leader from the emerging future, which is what our work is all about? So first thing we want to understand is the two kinds of learning. One is the learning from reflecting on the past. And second learning is sensing and actualizing the emerging future possibilities. So all of us are champions of learning from the past, reflecting on the past and learning from that. And we have huge track record in that. Right? Some of us would have much more than others, but all of us are quite good at that, I believe. But what is the new competency that we need to develop? And what is the new competency we need our people to develop, the people whom we are working with, guiding, coaching, they need to develop, is sensing and actualizing the emerging future possibilities. So that's a whole different set of competency to develop. And we're going to look at that. Vivek, are you there? What did Vivek get this? Oh, sorry. Yeah. Wait. Vivek, are you set for showing the video or you want me to?
I'll show it.
Okay, great. Yeah, so you should show it. So what we are going to do, everybody, is we are going to be using a video by Dr. Otto Scharmer to help us facilitate this conversation. So we'll see a portion of it, and then we will pause and we will have interactions. And then we'll do that again a couple of times. So just before we go to the videos and start our in-depth conversation, let's take a minute and look at what are our top 2 leadership challenges. Okay, so each one of us, let's look at what is our top leadership challenge right now. Okay, so if you want to unmute and speak, that is great. If you want to write in the chat, that is also great. So why don't everybody take a minute and look at what are our top leadership challenges. You can put it in the chat, or you can put it, you can unmute and speak, whatever way you're comfortable. So what are the top 2 leadership challenges?
Right strategy.
Right strategy. Okay, great. Thank you very much. Who was that?
Sudhakar.
Sudhakar. Okay, perfect, Sudhakar. Thank you very much. Okay, so some people, career progression of members. Okay. So somebody else? Presumption that people do not listen.
Sorry.
Okay.
Managing the backend team.
Marketing.
Managing the
Mangesh,
backend team.
managing the backend team. Okay. Mangesh, welcome. And can you put your videos on?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Everybody keep your videos on. Okay. It is one day you should, everybody, those who like to keep the videos off, you should conduct some sessions with blank screens and you will see how much you enjoy. Okay. It's really boring. Okay. And we don't like to get bored. Okay. Bharti, welcome. Vision compliance and resource self-sufficiency. Okay. Somebody else. What are the top 2 leadership challenges for you? Motivating people, sales and marketing. Okay. Somebody
Uncertainty and change.
Uncertainty and change. Okay.
Constant changes, yes.
Yes, constant change. Alignment of team towards organizational vision. Okay, good. What else? What are the top 2 leadership challenges?
To prepare next level of leadership and motivate them.
Yeah, to prepare next level of leadership. Okay. And to motivate them. Good.
Engagement and inculcating accountability.
Okay. Engagement, inculcating accountability. Okay, good. Somebody else? Okay.
Working with,
Yeah, Sudhakar, you're saying something?
working with numbers.
Working with people.
Working
Okay.
with numbers.
Working with numbers?
Numbers, not people.
Numbers, okay.
Yeah. NLD.
Okay. And Krupa Shankar saying to involve everyone in the team towards the goals. Okay, great. So it's good if you keep your leadership challenge in front of you as we do this discussion. So otherwise, it will look like some theoretical conversation. But if you look at your real challenges and then you listen to this conversation and then you interact, ask questions, you will have this time that you spend with us today be valuable, right? So we have two intentions, as I told in the starting of the session. One is we want to invite all of you to participate in our next workshop, which is starting on 17th and 18th April. Of course, some of you have already done the workshop, so thanks for joining in. And the second intention is that in these 2 hours that you are spending with us, you get some new insight, some useful, actionable insight that makes a difference in your leadership, okay? Irrespective of whether you participate with us or not. So both intentions are important for us, equally important. So let's look at the video. Okay, so Vivek, you want to do a sound test?
It's ready.
Okay,
Many
great.
people feel, and maybe you do,
So
that
this
we
is Otto
live in a
Scharmer.
time of disruption where something is ending and dying and something else is wanting to be born. This picture here is expressing this feeling of disruption by placing us on 2 sides of the chasm. On the one side is our current self and current reality, and on the other side is the other part of ourself that already today begins to connect with future possibilities that maybe we can bring into reality in our journey forward. The journey of the you and the journey of ULab is basically to help the current self to better connect to the emerging future possibilities waiting here.
Okay.
So before we embark on that journey, I would like to
Vivek,
share 2 key concepts with you that.
Yeah, so I think we'll pause here and I'll connect here, but you want to show the other video? You have that one, the one that we used last time.
Could you tell me the name?
Introduction to Theory U.
I don't know where it is.
Okay, I'll show you, no problem. Okay. Okay, so we're going to actually use another video. So sorry for that, and let me know if you can. I'm going to put the screen on and let me know if you can see it. Okay, can you see the screen?
Yes.
Okay, good. So
I came here to MIT from Europe 22 years ago in order to learn how to support and facilitate such a deep cycle of innovation and learning. One of the first things that I learned and picked up kind of when getting involved in more practical projects, change initiatives, is that there are 2 very different sources of learning. One is learning by reflecting on the past, and the other one is learning by sensing and actualizing emerging future possibilities. While most of the almost all of the existing learning methodologies are based on the first source of learning by reflecting on the experience of the past, I became more interested in how to develop a supporting social technology that enables not only individuals, but complex systems to learn from the emerging future by sensing and actualizing emerging future possibilities. And the first step, so
right. So this is what I said in the starting, that there are 2 kinds of learning. One is, what is the normal mode of learning?
From the past, from our experiences from the past.
Yes, by reflecting on the past.
Yeah.
So something happens and then you reflect on it and then you do some analysis and you get some insight out of it and then you apply it, right?
Correct.
So you look at the past, do some analysis, right? Take some decisions and then you try to apply it. Where do you apply it? You try
To the
to
present.
apply it.
To the present.
Yeah, but it is actually to the future.
Okay, yeah.
Because you're trying in the present moment, you're thinking of how you're going to apply it, right? But it's the next moment you're going to apply.
True. It becomes future. Yeah, it becomes future. Yes.
So you're taking the past and trying to put it into the
future.
Right?
Yeah.
It used to work when life was simple, right? When apple and blackberry were fruits, right? The problem is now, by the time you are applying, the future is already changing.
Yeah.
Right? So the knowledge that you have assimilated is useful, but you can't just implement it as is. Okay. Not that your knowledge is gone away or useless, but you can't apply it as it is because for every industry, the future is changing. Right? That's why I say if you're just PhD of the past, then you have a problem. Right? You need to develop a new competency. So what is the new thing that he's talking about? New way of learning? Is sensing and actualizing the emerging future possibilities. Okay. I'm inviting each one of you to make some notes as we use this because it will help you to take more value and also to have more interaction as we go ahead. Okay. So I'm going to go back to the video and we'll pause again after some time.
Inquire that space has been to do an interview study with 150 innovators and thought leaders and entrepreneurs and creative people that each in their own field had been creating something new in order to listen to their journey, to their practices, and find out what is the deeper process these people are actually doing. One of them was Brian Arthur, formerly Stanford University, and then later the head of the economics department at the Santa Fe Institute. And it was Brian Arthur actually who very succinctly summarized a deeper innovation and learning process that I have heard many other practitioners describing in a variety of ways. And the way he summarized it was that he said that there are two types of cognition. One is downloading, which is basically acting based on habits of the past in your thinking and in your way you interact with your environment. And the other one is a deeper innovation process that he referred to with the word knowing. And when I and my colleague Joe Jaworski asked him, so what actually is the process kind of that allows you to access this deeper source of innovation? Really is at the root of all profound innovation in science and also in business. He said basically that you have to go through a three-stage process that begins with observe, 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 which really means to go out to experience the system you're dealing with from the edges, to kind of to look at it and observe it from very different angles. And then kind of as you do that and as you move into the places of most potential that can teach you most about how to come up with creative responses given the situation or the challenges that you face. The second stage is to retreat and reflect and allow the inner knowing to emerge. He also said, go to the place of stillness, of inner stillness, where knowing comes to surface. So it's really about accessing the deeper sources of our intuition, both as an individual and also as a team, as a group, as a system. And then as from this process, one or two or three kind of a few ideas and sparks of the future begin to emerge, you explore them by acting in an instant, by rapid cycle prototyping, by moving into a fast cycle process where you prototype something very local, very fast, but sufficient enough to generate feedback from relevant stakeholders in the situation. And then given that feedback, you iterate and iterate and iterate. It's basically a way of accessing the intelligence that's situated kind of around your prototype idea, kind of the ecosystem kind of that, is holding the prototyping idea that you want to bring into reality. So that
Okay, so tell me what you heard in this, and Kameshwar Rao, if you're not able to hear, try logging in and logging out again, logging out and logging in today, right now, because sound is very clear for me. I don't know. Is sound clear for everybody else?
Yes.
Yeah. Sometimes it could be the Zoom connection and Kameshwar Rao, or it could be your internet connection. Okay. So just if you are having a difficulty, you can maybe log out and log in. So generally gets sorted out. Yeah. Or yeah, of course, you can also change your headphone, your phone. Okay. So what did you hear in this video till now? Somebody?
Frankly, from what I gathered out of it, it sounded, I may be blunt, but it sounded more philosophical than practical. When we try to harp on a change, this is precisely what we try to do. Like we try to observe and reflect upon. But then it ends up being a thing of the past that we are observing.
Yes. So I think you said it brilliantly. It's not about blunt, it's about noticing that while we understand this, we are bankrupt in implementing it. Okay. And so this work has been developed over last 3 decades and is being used in most of the giant organizations as well as small and medium enterprises. It is used in government, is used in education sectors and health sectors. So it's kind of a global phenomenon. Okay. Now, but what you're pointing out is also very valid, that it looks like common sense, except it's not common, right? Now, he talks about 3 things: observe, 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 retreat and reflect, and act in an instant, right? And some of us understand at least the first part, which is observe, 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 right? But before that, he mentioned something. So there are 2 kinds of cognition, right? Did anybody capture the word he used before that? Okay. So what is the enemy of observing? All of us understand observe, 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 right? We need to observe, we need to see. What is the enemy of observing?
Distraction.
It's called downloading. Yeah, Girish, there are distractions, I understand, but there is a very special kind of distraction, which is called downloading. Downloading is listening, thinking, and acting based on the past. Right? We are given by the past all the time, especially when we think we are not. So why we are not able to observe, like really observe, is because we are in the world of downloading. And since all of us are human beings, we have inherited this disease, right? This human condition called we are always downloading, right? All the time, 24/7. Like fish cannot distinguish water, we are always downloading. So what is downloading? One way you can say is it's our world of opinion and judgment. We're always listening through our world of opinion and judgment. Even this minute. And it's not going to stop. right? The game is not to stop your opinion and judgment, right? And the game is to actually being able to notice your opinion and judgment. So what we do in this workshop, and Manish, I think you've done a good service by opening up this possibility, that what will get us to really observe? What is get us to really see? What is get us really sense from the future that wants to emerge? So we have to divorce two things. Okay. One is we have to divorce our past. Maybe divorce is a wrong word. So maybe you take a separation. You don't have to give up the past completely, but stop being stuck to it, right? Like being able to suspend it. And the second is we got to get out of our head. The good news is the future is not going to emerge in your head. Bad news is you live in your head. So unless we have a breakthrough in getting out of our head and knowing how much we are in our head, we are not going to have a breakthrough in being able to observe. We are not going to have a breakthrough in what we talked about in the starting, sensing and actualizing the emerging possibilities. You can only sense the future when you get out of your head. Unfortunately, we are not trained for that. So what this workshop is doing is actually giving you tools to help you get out of your head. Help you see not from just your eyes, but from others' eyes. Help you listen not just from your ears, but others' ears. Otherwise, mostly what we do is what we are hearing and what we are seeing, we just label it, oh, this is how it shows up for others. No, we actually have to get out of our head, out of our eyes, out of our ears, and see from outside. So one set of an important part of the training is to get out of your head, get out of your eyes, and get out of your ears, so that you can really observe, and not observe just from your perspective, but observe from multiple stakeholder perspectives and get into their world and see from their world. So when you look at all your leadership challenges, right, and some of you did share your leadership challenges and some of you can look further, there is no miracle going to happen if you continue to see the world that you are currently seeing. If you want a new paradigm to open up, a new world of effectiveness, a new possibility to emerge, you will have to entertain that maybe there is another way to see the world. There is another way to see the challenge. There is another way to see the situation. And as you develop that ability, and not only consider that, but actually use the tools to start seeing from different perspectives, that's where you begin the game of observe, observe, observe. Right? So Manish, thank you for that. I hope this conversation is adding some light to your thinking process. And I think it's also you contributed to everybody. Okay, somebody else. What did you hear in the video? What questions you have? When you try to apply this conversation to your leadership challenge, what do you hear?
How do we know when is that instant that we have to apply? You know, he says apply instantly.
Right. So you're going to the third phase. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So the first phase is observe, 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 right? Which is the most challenging phase, because unless you have that breakthrough, everything else is you're going to just force fit the past. You're just going to work on your, see, when you are not connected to the past, you're just going to force fit your formulas from the past. with your willpower and management and strategy and everything else. And you will actually produce results. The bad thing is you will produce results. Right?
Okay.
But why is bad is because you will miss out the opportunity to bring in a new future, which would have given you extraordinary success.
Yeah.
So for most of us, our enemy is our own success.
Okay.
Because we know enough from the past, and we know enough formulas and enough ways and enough willpower and enough strategy that somehow we can force fit the past.
Okay.
But what you're going to miss out is the magic of sensing the future at the right time and actualizing it and actually riding the wave for a whole new
possibility.
future, right?
Yeah.
Which is going to be the game changer.
Manoj, any example from your experience?
No, let's talk about you first.
No, it is like you observing from the past, and then you learn to sense the future.
What is the leadership challenge that you're working on right now, Kalindi?
No, I didn't hear you. What did you say?
What is the leadership challenge that you're working on right now?
Engagement.
Engagement with whom?
Engagement of the people.
Engagement of the people, right?
Yeah.
And who are these people?
People in the organization. Our organization. Yeah.
Okay. So now you are seeing the situation and you are seeing it as an engagement issue, right? Now the same situation, which looks to you as an engagement issue.
Okay.
Right? It looks to you as an engagement issue inside of the world of downloading.
Right, right.
Inside of how you see them, how from the past, how you see the situation from the past, right? And so it's all given, you're in the world of opinion and judgment there, right?
Yes.
And it's not that your opinion or judgment is wrong.
Okay.
It's a valid opinion and judgment.
Right.
Right? But it's like opinion about something is different from that something.
Yes.
So you may have an opinion about an apple, right?
Right.
But your opinion is different and apple is different, right?
Yes.
So the problem is we get stuck to the opinion and we get disconnected with the thing that we are having opinion about.
Okay.
So when you see the situation, when you notice, okay, I have a certain downloading and opinion and judgment about it, right? And from that perspective, it looks like an engagement issue.
Right.
Right? But when you go to them and when you start looking at from their side, maybe it's not an engagement issue. Maybe it's some other issue.
Okay.
What is the issue from their side?
Okay.
From their eyes, what is it an issue? Is it an engagement issue or is it some other issue?
Is that the question?
Yeah.
I'm sure it's not an engagement issue. It could be something else. Yes.
And then if you go to another group of stakeholders, right?
It could be something else. Yeah, I agree. I understood.
If you go to another group of stakeholders.
Yeah.
Now, when you listen to all of them and when you start seeing from their eyes.
Right.
Right? Not that they are right. They have one perspective and you have another, right?
Right.
But when you suspend your opinion enough that you can see from their eyes.
Yes.
Maybe it won't be an engagement issue at all for you.
Right. Right.
And the moment it stops being an engagement issue for you.
Right.
And it starts showing up as something else, you will be able to co-create with them.
That's it. That's right.
Right. And when you can co-create with them, then a whole new experiment, whole new future becomes possible.
Yes. Yes.
Right?
Yes. Thank you, Manoj. Thank you.
Good. Thank you. So, so first, so somebody had asked about the acting in an instant, right? So I think it was Kripa Shankar. So yes, so once you start noticing your downloading, noticing how much your world of opinion and judgment is limiting the future, right?
Yeah.
Not bad, but just limiting the future. And then you start seeing, like I interacted with Dr. Kalinde, when you start seeing from the eyes of multiple stakeholders, right? That is what we call as observe, observe, observe. Then what you do? Then you retreat. Yeah, then you take a pause, okay?
Yeah.
And allow your inner knowing to emerge, right? Your intuition will speak to you, but intuition will speak to you after you've done enough of observation. Otherwise, it will just throw the same past in a recycled format.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
But when you have done enough observation and seeing it from multiple directions and multiple perspectives, and then when you retreat and allow the inner knowing to emerge, then you will have some sparks, some idea, something, oh, like,
yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
And
okay.
then is act in an instant. Then when you get those insights, which
Yeah.
are your higher level intuition talking, and this could be not only as you as an individual, this could also be as a team, which is what the whole training is about. How do you work not only at an individual level, but apply this at a team level?
Team
right?
level. Yeah.
Also, right?
Okay.
So then when you get those insights, then you immediately want to put them into action, test them out, experiment with them. Not do analysis paralysis, but actually experiment with them.
Immediately, yeah.
Which is what we train in the world of rapid prototyping.
Okay.
Like awareness-based rapid prototyping.
Okay, I got it.
So these are the three phases that we're talking about, right? Once you suspend your downloading, so your enemy is downloading, right? You have to fight that downloading all the time. Especially when you think you don't have downloading, that's the time you are completely downloading, right? So as you fight that, then you develop these three competencies or three phases, go through the three phases, observe, 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 seeing it from multiple stakeholder perspective, including those stakeholders who are not having any say, right? For example, I was just talking to somebody, if you look at in education industry, we make decisions, right? Maybe the education minister and the educationists and some senior people make some decisions. Who is impacted by those decisions? The students, the teacher, the parents, including the future generation, some of them who are not yet born, right? They don't have a say. The people who are going to get impacted by your decisions don't have a say. Can you create some space for them? Can you go into their shoes and see? Maybe actually step out and have some conversations with those stakeholders and see from their eyes. Education is just an example. You can take it everywhere. It applies the same thing. We look at a corporate. The decision makers in the corporate are disconnected from people who are going to be affected by it. Most of the times we ask them, okay, who are the stakeholders in this decision? Most people give us one or two names, right? Okay, this group and that group. And we help them see that at least there are three more groups that they didn't think about. Last Sunday, we had a similar conversation. Some of you were there. And there was a colleague who was representing the airport. He's working in a company which is in the field of airports. And we were talking, who are the stakeholders? And he talked about, okay, so people who are working in the airport, right? And the people who are running the trolleys and people who are working in the food shops and all that. I said, yeah, but there are many other stakeholders, like the citizens staying around, right? So there are many stakeholders where we don't see them, but they get impacted by our decisions. And if you want to be taking effective decisions, you may want to expand your horizon, right? So, but coming back to the three phases is observe, observe, observe as you fight your downloading. And all of us should thank Manish for giving us that reminder all the time. Otherwise, it will become some theory, philosophy. right? If you're not fighting your downloading, then you're in philosophy. Okay, so then you should send Manish Puranik 1 rupee every time you do that. Okay, Manish, you should send your Paytm or Google Pay or something. You will become rich. Even if they just send you 1 rupee, right? Every time they are not fighting the downloading, right? And they're trying to do observe, they should send you 1 rupee. I think you are financially taken care for this life. Okay, so 3 phases: observe, retreat and reflect. And then as you retreat and reflect, allow your inner knowing to emerge. And this is something that you do individually, and you also do it as a team. And then when you have some insight, some sparks, then you act in an instant. Okay. So any questions so far?
Yeah, I think the key is in making enough observations. Now, how do we know that? Whether we have, exhausted all the, possibilities or whatever of observation.
Yeah, or other way I would say it is, keep your observation on even as you go ahead.
Yes.
But don't look at it like watertight compartment. Okay, I have done now. I'm going to do observation, and then afterwards I stop observation, and then I continue. No, maybe it's dynamic. It's live. Yeah. So it's like look at it like a live process instead of you completing and shutting down something, right? So we say you do this U every day, many times a day. This U is 3 phases, right? So you do at a macro level for a project, and you also do at a micro level, like every day, multiple times. Okay. Which is what we handhold you in practicing and till the time you get a grip on this. Okay. Any other question before we move on? Okay, let me just see, did I miss out? Okay, so now let's go ahead with the video, and then we'll. Okay, and everybody, you should mute yourself when you're not speaking, because there might be some disturbance or echo. Okay.
That was the first learning, that there is such a deep learning cycle that is going through these different stages that can be described in this way. The second thing that I learned is that this kind of process really only works if you, as an entrepreneur, as an innovator going onto that journey, engage in some inner leadership work. At the moment,
The sound is gone off.
Can't hear anything.
There's no sound.
Manoj, there's no sound coming.
Vivek, did you mute me by mistake?
Yes.
Okay, so now I have to go back. Okay.
Little, 2 minutes.
So yeah, okay. So let me see.
Yeah, that's right. That's just there.
Okay. Is it working now? Can you hear it now? Were you able to hear?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
really only works if you, as an entrepreneur, as an innovator going onto that journey, engage in some inner leadership work. And the moment I really stumbled into that insight was by talking with the late CEO of Hanover Insurance, Bill O'Brien, who, after conducting and leading many processes of transformation and change, summed up his own experience with the following word. The success of an intervention depends on the interior condition of the intervener. Let me translate. The success of what I do as a leader, as an innovator, as a change maker, depends on the inner place, depends on the source from that I operate. So it's not what I'm doing, or not only what I'm doing, it's not only how, the process I'm applying to a situation, but it's the source that I am operating from. It's the quality of attention and intention and presence that I bring into a situation. That is, he says, that makes all the difference. When I heard these words, I realized that I had.
Okay. How many of you could hear clearly?
Not really, Manoj. The sound was very, very low.
Okay. So, and the sound was fine earlier, huh?
Yeah.
Yes, but this was, yeah.
Same video. Okay.
Let me try. Let me try. I've got the video.
Okay. You know where to start?
Yeah.
Otherwise, I can create it. It's not a problem.
As an innovator, as a change maker, depends on the inner place, depends on the source
go back a little
from that
bit?
I operate. So it's not, the success of an intervention depends on the interior condition of the intervener. Let me translate. The success of what I do as a leader, as an innovator, as a change maker, depends on the inner place, depends on the source from that I operate. So it's not what I'm doing, or not only what I'm doing, it's not only how, the process I'm applying to a situation, but it's the source that I am operating from. It's the quality of attention and intention and presence that I bring into a situation. That is, he says, that makes all the difference.
Okay.
When I heard these words.
Okay, thanks. So thank you guys for pointing out the audio was not good. And firstly, pointing out that Vivek had by mistake muted me. Okay, so when we looked at earlier, we looked at the whole ability to sense the future and actualize the future, right? It deals with fighting your downloading, being present to your downloading, aware of your downloading, right? And then going through this process, observe, 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 retreat and reflect, and act in an instant, okay? But this process only works when you're also doing some inner leadership work, okay? It's not like a formula that you're going to apply. It's not going to work, right? It's something that you have to do on your own, like transforming your leadership, your inner self. So Bill O'Brien of Hanover Insurance, right? Vivek, is Bill O'Brien, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So late CEO of Hanover Insurance. His quote is, the success of the intervention depends on the interior condition of the intervener. Which means what? The success of my projects, my initiatives depends on my interior condition. And so same thing for you. Success of your projects, your intentions, your ambitions, whatever you're working on, it depends on not just what you do and not just how you do things, which is where most of our management education is stuck, is looking at what you do and how you do, right? To actually going to the source portion, which is your interior condition. This your source, like if I give you an analogy, if you look at a painter, right? You could look at a painting, which is seeing the result, right? And you could learn something from looking at the painting, looking at the result. what they did. Or you can also look at the how, like you can observe the painter in the process of the painting, and you can learn something from there. But that won't get you connected to the source. The what they do and the how they do, or what you do and how you do, that's not the source. The source is your interior condition. So this interior condition, he mentions the three phases or three dimensions of it. Did anybody capture those three dimensions? At the end, he spoke.
Attention, intention, presence.
Right. Very good, Bharti. So at least you had attention on that.
No, it's actually a good point. And I'm finding a lot of social innovation related thoughts that is there. Plus also linkage with all the visualization process.
Now your audio is not clear for me. Bharti, now your audio was not clear for me. Can you put your video off for a minute and see if the audio comes better?
Is it better now?
Yeah, much better.
Yeah, yeah. So I was just saying that there are a lot of parallels in what I heard here, and the entire social innovation process, which also talks about observing social empathy, which they call for social entrepreneurs, and also linking it up with something very different, which is about visualization, means connecting to your inner source, right? And yeah, so there is amalgamation of certain different ideas. Interesting.
So there are three, your interior condition, which is your source as a leader, is three things: quality of intention, quality of attention, and the quality of presence. Intention, attention, and presence. So please make a note of this. And what we're going to do is we're going to continue with the video conversation right now. And then we'll come and do a deeper conversation on these three things again. Okay.
I realized that I had no idea about this third dimension, the source level. All I knew was about the what and the how, but the source level, I really never considered or reflected upon. And I also realized that this is not only a blind spot for myself, but really a blind spot for the entire field of leadership research and most of social sciences. So it brought me kind of onto this pathway of developing theory U as a social field theory that not only looks at the what and the how, but that really makes visible the source dimension that we are operating from as individuals, as teams, as organizations, as larger systems, and the impact it has depending on which source we are operating from. So today, I would summarize the source dimension that Bill O'Brien was pointing me towards by differentiating between three inner places or three capacities that we need to cultivate as change makers, innovators, and leaders. The first one is the open mind, by which I mean the capacity to suspend our old habits of judgment, basically to see with fresh eyes. The second one is the open heart, by which I mean the capacity to empathize, to redirect our attention, to look at a problem not just from my angle, but also from the angle of the other stakeholders that are involved in the situation. And number three, to cultivate the open will, which is essentially the capacity to let go and let come. Let go of the old and let come of the emerging new possibilities. These two insights basically summarize the two foundation stones of the U theory and the U process. So it's kind of a process.
Great. So he talks about three capacities here, right, that we all as leaders need to develop. So what are the three capacities you're talking about?
Open mind.
Yes.
Open heart.
Open heart.
Open will.
Open will, right? So what is open mind? Open mind is suspending whatever is there in your mind.
In your words, Manoj, last time you had said, commitment to discover new data.
Yeah.
That was so well said that
Yeah.
it has stayed with me. Not only it has stayed with me, but it has helped me.
Very good. Brilliant. Thank you very much. So you can now take this one also. I like this one. Open mind is willingness to question everything that is there in your mind, including the right and the wrong, and whatever you say, oh, this is right, oh, this is wrong, this is reality. Whatever is there in your mind, being willing to question that. That is open mind. Okay. And yeah, so when you suspend your voice of judgment and you're committed to discover new data, contradictory data, right? So that's the open mind. And when you do that, where is our friend Manish? Yeah. When you do that, then real observe is possible. Otherwise not, right? The second one is what? Open heart. Open heart is not about sympathy. Open heart is not about generosity. It is not about you taking care of people. It's not about you being a good human being. All that is fine. That has got nothing to do with open heart. Open heart here means you seeing the situation, right, from other person's eyes, and not seeing it from your eyes and labeling it, oh, I think this is how they see it. No, actually seeing it from their eyes, right? So that's, and when you do that, when you really empathize with somebody, when you can see it from their eyes, you will build an emotional connect with them, a strong emotional connect with them. This is the beginning of teamwork and partnership. Without that empathy, there is no teamwork, partnership, co-creation. Kushal, you had a question? Can you unmute?
Yeah, I was just saying, can you just repeat the commitment for data? What was that new data? What was it?
Commitment for discovering contradictory data. Data which contradicts or questions your current logic. Right. Like scientists, you have to be scientists, not politician, or not anybody except. I think the scientists are the most relevant people here, because they are trained to question everything, right? Their life, their success depends on that, right? While we get stuck to our pushing our point of view, right? Okay, so the open mind, and the second is open heart, being empathize, able to empathize, and third is open will. Open will means letting go of the past, letting go of this is how we have always done things, letting go of your resignation, cynicism, fear, letting go of everything that you have been stuck to, without any guarantee that the future is going to work out. So not letting go after you have an alternative. No. You first let go. You first let go of the past, then only you will start seeing the future. You're saying, no, first give me an answer, then only I will let go of my old answer. Only if I'm convinced of the new answer, then only I let go of my old answer. No. Till the time you are married to the old answer, you can't see the new answer or the new possibility. Okay. So you need to, and that's where you have to deal with your fear, because there is comfort in doing it the old way. Even if it is stupid, we want to do it the old way because there's some comfort. We know, okay, it doesn't work, but so what? At least we have the illusion of being busy. Right? Even though it doesn't work, even though it doesn't produce the kind of results we want, even though it is limited, but it takes some courage to let go of that and then stand in allowing the new future to emerge. So when you let go, then only you can let come. It's like you're, yeah, so, and then you let come what? Let come, again, as we said in the starting, sense and actualizing the new future, emerging future. So let come the new future. So this is the game of, this is the beginning of the game of leadership from the emerging future. This is the first steps, junior KG, baby steps. But at the same time, they're so powerful. If you just do this enough for the rest of your life, you will keep creating miraculous results. And we have done some 17 batches of 3-month programs. Plus, we of course do a lot of work in in-house organizations and consulting and other things. Yesterday only we had this alumni group. We have an alumni group, which is for people who had done the workshop earlier. They get together once a month and they share with each other. Right? There's no faculty there. They all of them just share with each other and support each other and revise and share what projects they are working on and all that. And it was so inspiring to hear what they are doing and how they are using each conversation, how they are using the tools to create new futures, not only for themselves, but like in the games that they're working on. And some of the extraordinary projects they're taking on in the businesses, also in the society, that is always very inspiring. So in this work, what we are doing is we are working on 3 kind of transformations. First is transforming perception. That's the beginning of the game, right? Unless the perception is transformed, nothing else is going to transform. Nothing new is possible. Second is transforming self, which is you getting connected to your real self, your highest future possibility. Otherwise, you're doing time pass on the planet. So when you get connected to why you are here on the planet, right, then the whole game changes. So these are the first 2 aspects that we work on in our first course: transforming perception and transforming self, connecting to yourself to your highest future possibility. Then the next level is transforming action, moving away from your strategy and willpower to actually awareness-based collective leadership. Right. So that's the kind of work that we are doing and the kind of training that we are giving. So let's pause here and see if you have any questions, and then we can take it forward from there. Go ahead. What do you hear? Comments and questions? Aras Dabas, anything for you?
I'm finding so interesting. But Manoj, one is that how to let go of your past success, past this thing. It is quite challenging, very, very after it is the sense basically, but very challenging. So
you don't have to actually let go. You just have to let go of as the source of your answers. It's not that your past is irrelevant or not valid, right? It's just that you have to stop, you have to suspend that as the source of your answers. Do you get what I'm saying?
I'm trying to get it.
Don't worry. Right? So, so what we say, you have to suspend it for some moments. Don't give it up fully. Okay. You don't have to give it up. You just have to practice suspending. Right. And the best way to do that is the moment you notice, oh, this thought process is coming from the past. Then you can suspend it, put it aside, and explore some new dimensions.
More you become aware of it, more you
Yes.
through suspension, more it becomes a habit.
Yeah, and the more you
Manoj,
see
I would
it
like to say
from-
something there. Said another way, the bus, uh, you don't have to base your view of life based on the past. That's another way to look at it.
So, keeping it simple right now, it's like moment to moment, right? You have to notice it and suspend it. And the more you have done the other work on developing your competency in observing, the more you'll find, and seeing from others' eyes, more you'll find easier to suspend your past. And it's all practice. So that's why the whole structure. So that's why what we have done is we created the workshop. Now we used to do a 2-day workshop in companies, and then we used to do online 10-session seminar series. And both methodologies were very successful in creating the results. But then we thought, why not give a little bit extra to people? So out of our disease of generosity, right? So what we did is we created a 2-day plus a 6-session seminar series. We said, let's give more value, right? And so now the structure is you do a 2-day workshop wherein you learn all these tools and you also practice these tools, but then you also get 6 sessions, 1.5 month to 2 month of practice and coaching to apply all these tools and to make a real difference in the work that you're committed to, right? And then after that, you also have a complementary lifelong structure, which is called the alumni structure, wherein you continue to work with other people who have done the workshops earlier and keep sharing and practicing, and you create a whole environment to support you, like a community to support you, right? The bus, anything else for you?
No, thank you, thank you. I'm finding it very useful. Very useful. Although I've done Vipassana, I've done landmark, but getting rid of the past is really, so you're given suspended for some time. Be aware of it. I think that's
I used to lead the
so it's a
landmark forum.
continuous process. Continuous process.
Right. The bus, when did you do the landmark forum?
98. Fardi.
Right. Fardi.
Rajendra the bus.
So for
Yes, I'm Rajendra Dabas.
Oh, so Ferdi will be there with us in the session on this.
Oh, great, great.
So Ferdi and I also used to lead the landmark forum. So Ferdi and I we are part of this game together, and we found that while transforming individuals is great, but transforming individuals, businesses, and societies all at the same time is more required, more appropriate. Not working in silos. Okay, thank you. Yeah, Vivek, you're saying something?
Yeah, I just wanted to address something for everybody. See, letting go of the past is not an individual phenomenon. All this we are talking about is inside of you. All have a big intention of creating a new future, of realizing a new possibility. There's the commitment to a possibility. Yes, Rajendra. Now, all of you have this huge possibility that you're committed to. You, your team members, your stakeholders, you all want to achieve something. Inside of wanting to achieve something that is really important to you and to society and to your team, and to your business, this is one of the practices of suspending the past, suspending the downloading, which is the judgments in the mind, the fear in the mind, and then engaging with your stakeholders to find out what are the new possibilities, because your stakeholders and you are disconnected because everybody is downloading. Everybody has this past judgment that they have in their head. So it's not a one, I have to let go of my past. No, we're not talking about your individual transformation. You already have done enough of that in Landmark and in the seminars you attended, in the programs, all very good work you've done. We are talking here about there is this big intention that you and your team want to achieve. And you need to collaborate with your stakeholders to achieve that. And for all of you to achieve that, somebody and everybody has to suspend. and let go of the past fears and cynicisms that are already there, to engage, to dialogue, to find out what's the pathway to that. If you don't go through all that, you'll still be all talking from the past, speaking from the past, thinking from the past. This is not about your success of the past, that you're a hero for the last 30 years. All that we respect. We still respect that. And you should respect that also. We're just saying that when you're engaging inside of this commitment, suspend it, let go of it so that you can engage and connect better with your teams, so that you can co-create those miraculous outcomes that everybody wants. Not only you want, even your team members want that, even your stakeholders want that, even your customers want that. Does that make sense?
Yes, yes. Thank you, Vivek. Thank you.
Okay, so everybody, I request you to take a paper and pen if you have, right? And just look at, write down, just scribble. Like once you put your pen on the paper and allow it to write on its own. What would become possible in the work that you're doing, in your career, in the commitment that you have? What would become possible if you were able to do these things, right? Develop open mind, open heart, open will, and practice, observe, retreat and reflect, act in an instant, and go beyond your downloading. So these are the three things: open mind, open heart, open will, observe, retreat and reflect, act in an instant, and go beyond your downloading. If you are able to do these three, you become good at this. How will it impact you and your work? Take a paper and pen and just write down for 2 minutes, whatever comes to your mind. Just don't even apply your mind. You put your pen on the paper, you'll be surprised it will start writing if you don't stop it. Just keep writing. And everybody else, put your videos on and be in the exercise, please. Okay, so you can continue writing, and in the meanwhile, let's hear from some people. What do you think would be available? What difference would it make if you master these three aspects? Who would like to start? Yes.
Can I start?
Yeah, please.
Yeah. I'm looking at two scenarios in front of me when I am able to, imbibe all this in my day-to-day activities, these thoughts or these theories, theory U basically. Two areas which I can see going to become very successful is the MSMEs to whom I am catering to. I can look at them becoming really successful to deal with the market situations with their limited resources, because they have limited resources, and that becomes a constraint always. But I'm seeing now the possibilities of, even with the limited resources, they'll be able to tackle the market issues in a much better way. This is one. Second is, I'm looking at the outputs of all professional colleges, whether it is MBAs or engineering students. I'm looking at the possibility of concentrating on them and making them job ready, and they'll be the contributors from day one. Today, what happens, even in my own life, I found that I became a contributor after a long period of, getting a lot of bashing on my workplace. I don't want that to happen. I want them to become contributors from day one. These are the two distinct possibilities I can see. Thank you.
Okay, brilliant, brilliant. Thank you very much for sharing.
Yeah.
Okay, somebody else?
Could I come in?
Please, please.
I'm going to talk a little bit negatively because the biggest challenge which I mentioned was, for me, was marketing. Maybe I don't know, because my background of civil service, it's difficult for me to do the marketing part or getting in hand onto it. And I do not know how this process can help me.
Okay.
This is
So
one.
can I help you right now?
Please go ahead. Welcome. Thank you.
Okay. So what is it that you're trying to market?
I'm trying to market my process.
So your
Process.
Process.
Huh.
Okay. And the process is for what?
This process is for getting you the desired results.
Okay.
It's a very uniquely placed training process.
Okay.
It focuses on results.
So it's a training process for whom?
For anybody who is looking for growth and development. So anybody includes corporates, individuals, entrepreneurs.
Right. Right. So we had conducted one session some time back, okay, based on theory U. In that we said, don't sell.
Agreed.
Fulfill your vision.
That's it.
Right. So one of the things that you will discover is that you are seeing your product, your service, right, from a particular perspective, right, which is valid. But then when you start seeing the situation from the eyes of various stakeholders, you may find some different opportunities to communicate, different opportunities to interact and co-create with them. Right. And because it is not about what you have, it's about how they perceive it, right? It's the whole game of transforming perception. Right now, unless you transform your perception about them, right, and your perception about how you are supposed to put your work to them, right? There's a way you are perceiving your job, right? As a consultant, as an advisor, you're perceiving your job in a particular way, right?
Yeah. I'm still not able to connect the dots.
Yeah. So consider you are like all human beings, you are also downloading. Okay, and you are downloading about yourself, and about people that you are trying to make your services available to, and you are also downloading about how this is to be done and what is the process of how it should work. So there's a lot of past based opinions and judgments about how this whole thing should work, and unless you suspend that and you go into the mode of observing, and you discover some new insights, you're seeing from their eyes, right? You might miss out opportunities that are in front of you. So you'll have to the opportunity is to get out of your head, get out of your eyes, get out of your ears, and see the situation from other people's eyes, other people's ears.
In this case, my experience is zero, zilch. So there's a question. I mean, in this particular specific area I'm talking of, I'm not talking of delivery. Delivery part is okay, taken care of. I'm talking of marketing, for which there's no.
But you don't have to do. See, you are looking. You are looking at your business in a particular way.
Yeah.
Right, and that is given by the past. The way you're seeing your business itself is given from the past. There's a lot of downloading that you have about your whole business model.
No. I'm still not able to get it.
Yeah, you can't you can't get it. Yeah, if you could, it's like fish. It's like fish distinguishing water, right?
Yeah, that's it.
So, but what you have to what you have to be willing to see, right? That the future is not going to emerge till the time you see you're going to continue seeing your business in the way you're seeing your business right now. There is a way you're seeing your business, okay? And there's a way you're seeing yourself. And there's a way you're seeing your stakeholders. Are you willing to discover that there are other ways to see them?
Yes, of course, I'm willing. That's how I'm in it. Otherwise, I wouldn't be in it if I'm not willing.
Yeah.
And there is no ego here because I don't have, I mean, that's not my area of expertise. So I've come here without any baggage, so to say.
Okay. So can you give up that you need marketing?
Of course, no problem at all. I'll be too happy.
Okay. Good. And then you discover your business model newly.
Yes.
Are you willing to discover that?
Yes, I am.
Good. So that's what's available in this business course for you, to able to expand your business without ever learning marketing.
Yeah. I presumed when I started in 2005, I presumed that I won't require it.
Yeah. Yeah, but you need something else.
You need something else, which is not.
Which is transforming perceptions.
Yeah, of course.
Second is transforming
agree.
self.
Yeah.
Transforming self. And then transforming action. So transforming the way you see business, transforming the way you see yourself, transforming the way you see people and situations. That's first phase. Second phase is transforming yourself.
Yes.
The way, right? Connecting to your highest future possibility.
Yes.
And then after having done that, then transforming action.
Of course, that will follow. Yeah.
Yeah, but moving from your strategy and willpower and all that to actually bringing in an awareness-based collective action. But which is phase 3, which we don't want to go right now.
Yeah, right.
But what you're going to have, and we have had many people who are trainers, consultants, and people who work with other organizations, right? Participate with us. We have had people from around 30 industries and some 8-9 countries participate with us. Many of them are from the training consulting background, and they have extraordinary breakthrough when they start seeing the business differently, and they start seeing
I'm sure. Yeah, that
and they start seeing themselves differently.
No, I do see a lot of possibilities, but still, I'll try. I'll keep on trying.
Yeah.
I've been trying. I'll keep on trying.
Yeah. So we recommend you invest 2 days, and then 6 sessions, right? And create a new paradigm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you might be because there is, see, you have a certain expertise that you want to bring and make available to the world, right? It's not just money. There's a certain new possibility that you want to make available in the world. And if you don't do that, it's going to get lost. The world is not going to have your contribution. So it's not that, okay, I need to do it just because for myself. I'm sure at your experience level and your expertise level, there's so much contribution you can do. Right? But you will have to find new ways to do that.
That's right.
Right. Which is what we are committed to support you in the workshop.
Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome. Okay, somebody else. What do you think you will create if you have a breakthrough in going beyond your downloading, going beyond your going beyond your downloading, your judgment, cynicism, fear, and master, observe, retreat and reflect, act in an instant, as well as developing open heart, open mind, open heart, and open will. What do you think will become possible for you? Manish?
when I look at all this, it again just strikes me that it's again about trying to achieve what you have set up the goals for. Like over last 5-7 years, right, from like 2013 that I did my landmark.
Right.
I've been foreseeing, like I happen to be a cardiac surgeon.
Mm.
And I work into a novel field of minimal invasive cardiac surgery, which is a in thing in cardiac surgery. But being placed in Aurangabad, I've been like over last 7-8 years pursuing it and trying to make it a commonplace in this region.
Right.
I don't know. I'm faltering somewhere or something of that, which is not going right. Like Mr. Anand said, that probably I too am falling back on marketing part of it or making people aware of it. So I feel that it's a contribution that I can make.
Yeah, you phenomenal contribution, right? Yeah, phenomenal contribution.
But somehow it just probably hasn't picked up as it should be, because it's too much of a benefit for anyone who is undergoing heart surgery without too much of cutting and fracturing and pain. But probably I'm falling short of making people and population at large aware of what the possibilities lie.
Right. Or another way I would say it is, there's a way you see your the whole, let me call it business, okay?
Yes.
The whole framework of your service and how to provide your service. There's a whole framework, right? And the way you see your service and the framework, the way you're seeing it, that is a bottleneck for you. Okay. And again, it's like you could make a huge difference, right? And but the framework in which you're seeing, there are a lot of bottlenecks for you. So we were working with a medical professional. I think he was also from Aurangabad or Akola. Okay. And he was working with people who have had paralysis, and he was helping them in the recovery process, right? And so he was in one of our workshops, and he was saying that people don't complete the whole course. So if it's like a 3-month course or something, they don't complete the whole course, or the 5 sessions, they will just do 2 sessions and then disappear. And sometimes there is a risk that they could die because whatever he was dealing with, right? So in that, and then he was also saying, I'm getting this much business it's not growing beyond a certain level, right? So we had a conversation with him, and we looked at how much revenue he's generating, and we looked at what is the need of his service, right? Who are the total audience who need his service, right? And he was looking at, okay, I'm getting 100 patients a month, and he had his whole business model was around that, and then we shifted to seeing it differently, right? As relevant for him. The whole game changed, right? So consider that the game starts with transforming perception. The way you see yourself, the way you see your business model, the way you see your services, the way you see people, and the way people see you, and the way people see your services, right? When you can create a new paradigm there, right? Not by thinking through, but actually stepping out of your head, right? Stepping out of your eyes, stepping out of your ears, and going and seeing from their head, their eyes, their heart, right? You will be able to make a big difference. Much, much, much bigger than you can imagine, right? And the second thing is very important, again, connecting to your own real self, right? So all of us have 2 selves. One is the small self, which is worried about survival and making it in life. right? And how am I going to pay my bills, and how am I going to survive my wife, and this and that, right? But then there is also a higher self, like a higher possibility. Why are we here on the planet? So if you want to provide real leadership, you need to connect to your real self, the higher self. Otherwise, you are going to only keep figuring out psychology on how to survive. That's not going to, you will succeed, right? But you'll not get the real power of your leadership. Right? That's available when you connect to your higher self. Okay. So these are the two dimensions that we work on in this level 1 course: transforming perceptions, your perception about everything and other people's perception about what you're offering and what you're doing, and connecting with your higher self. So this is what the whole game is about. Yeah, Manish?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and I'll reflect on that also.
Very good. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so since we have limited time, let me